My name is Jonathan Hale, and I'm 64 years old now. This story happened 12 years ago, when I was 52, and it taught me one of the most important lessons of my life, from a child who had almost nothing, yet gave more than anyone I'd ever known. I built my fortune in technology. I founded a software company in my 20s, watched it grow, and eventually took it public. By my early 50s, I had more wealth than I could ever spend. Luxury apartments, exclusive clubs, private travel, everything money could buy was within reach. My daughter Isabella was 7 at the time. Her mother passed away when she was born, and I raised her surrounded by comfort, tutors, and opportunity. She attended one of the most elite private schools in the city. I wanted her life to be easier than mine had been. But somewhere along the way, I made a mistake. Isabella had become entitled. She judged people by their clothes, their status, and what they owned. Teachers told me she was dismissive of classmates, and refused to work with children she believed were below her level. I tried to correct her behavior, but I was rarely present. I had delegated her upbringing to people who were paid to please her, not guide her. One autumn afternoon, I left work early to pick her up from school myself. I arrived early and decided to walk toward the gate. That's when I saw her standing by the iron fence, but she wasn't alone. Next to her stood another girl, about her age, maybe a little older. She was thin, wearing worn clothes that didn't quite fit. Her shoes were frayed, her hair unkempt. It was clear she didn't belong to this neighborhood. But what caught my attention wasn't how she looked. She was teaching my daughter. They were bent over a small notebook as the girl patiently explained a math problem, pointing and smiling. Isabella was listening, really listening. Asking questions, engaged, respectful. I stopped and stayed back, watching. "If you move this number to the other side," the girl said, "the problem gets easier." "Math is just patterns." "That makes so much sense," Isabella replied. "You explain it better than my teacher." The girl smiled, not proudly, just happily. I was stunned. This wasn't the daughter I knew. This Isabella was curious, humble, kind. After a while, Isabella asked her name. "I'm Lena," the girl said. "Why don't you go to school?" Isabella asked. Lena looked down. "I used to. My mom and I had to leave our apartment. Now we move around. I learned from library books and watching lessons through school windows." My heart tightened. She explained how she found the notebook in the trash, how she practiced problems whenever she could, how she loved learning too much to stop, even without a classroom. "That's not fair," Isabella said quietly. "Everyone should get to go to school." That was the moment I stepped forward. Isabella ran to me. "Dad!" "This is Lena. She's really smart. She's teaching me math." I knelt down so I was eye level with them and spoke gently. Lena was cautious but brave. I asked where her mother was. She told me she was at the public library, applying for jobs. We drove there together. In the back seat, the girls talked about books and science like old friends. At the library, I met Lena's mother, Rachel, exhausted, guarded, and clearly used to being ignored. She thought I was there to complain. Instead, I told her the truth. "Your daughter is exceptional," I said. "And I'd like to help by investing in her education and supporting you while you rebuild." Rachel resisted at first. Pride and fear held her back. But Lena spoke up, gently and honestly, and her mother finally allowed herself to be vulnerable. Over the next hour, we talked. I learned about job losses, rising rent, impossible choices. I offered Rachel a position managing operations at my foundation based on her experience, not pity. I arranged temporary housing, and I committed to covering Lena's education. "This isn't charity," I told her. "It's an investment." That decision changed everything. Rachel thrived in her role. Lena joined Isabella's school and excelled. Years later, Lena graduated at the top of her class, earned scholarships, and dedicated her career to improving education for underserved children. But the biggest change happened in my daughter. Watching Lena, her humility, her love of learning, her generosity reshaped Isabella completely. She grew into a compassionate young woman who understood that privilege carries responsibility. Today, Isabella studies education policy. Lena designs curriculum that reaches children society often overlooks. And Rachel now leads programs helping families rebuild with dignity. All of this began with a homeless child teaching through a fence. I went to pick up my daughter that day. Instead, I found a teacher,